I am still stuck inside because of a typhoon. But somehow I still have power. I don't know. So anyway, at what point do you change? You know you have a problem. Everybody has some problems. Some people have more of them, and some people's problems are a lot worse. You can hear the wind. It's so loud. But anyway, so first comes a moment of realization where you look yourself in the eyes in the mirror and you immediately cannot hold eye contact anymore. You just look down to the sink again. Oh my god. It's so loud. Okay, anyway. So, a moment of change comes after that moment of realization. And then that moment of change has to happen in small, little steps over a long course of time. Changing yourself is very, very hard, very difficult. People often start that journey of change only to realize how difficult it is to keep it up, and then they immediately fall back and, right back into those habits that they wanted to change from in the first place. And then you end up in a spiral where you become defeatist, like you have no way to beat the addiction, you have no way to overcome the bad habit, etc., which just further amplifies your helplessness in that situation. And you just end up staying with whatever the bad habit is forever. So, at what point do you actually commit to that change? So first of all, the pain of staying with that bad habit has to outweigh the pain of the change. Changing has to be the preferable and easier and more convenient option of the two, opposed to staying that way that you were. Now there's a couple things you can do to make it easier to change. One of the big things is to change your environment. If you're an alcoholic and then you try to commit to being better about your alcoholism and you try to go cold turkey, and then you go home and then you're surrounded by people at home who are all also alcoholics, then before you know it, you're going to fall right back into your old habits again because you see them drinking all the time and you're surrounded by this alcohol, in the pantry or on the table or in the fridge or whatever. Same with drugs, same with gambling, same with anything. So you need to find the right group of people and you need to find the right environment. That's why support groups are so good. It's one of the reasons why talking to a therapist works so well. It's why it's so important to have a whole bunch of people in your friend group. And it's so important to be friends with other people in your life, like your coworkers, who might be able to give you advice and they might be able to help you out. It's important to have those family contacts because there's probably other people in your family who are a lot better about these sorts of things and they can help you out. If you change your environment, including changing the people around you, it suddenly becomes a lot easier. Secondly, you have to be equipped with the information as to exactly why staying is so bad. If you not only are you making it easier to prefer changing and being a better person about this thing, but you can amplify the pain you would feel about staying in the way that you are. If you know all of the reasons why smoking is so bad for you, and you really do a deep dive, like you watch documentaries, you actually read research papers about the topic, you actually go and talk to people who have been negatively affected by smoking, and so on, then you will have a profound understanding, a deep understanding, really, really detailed about all the ways that smoking destroys your life. And based on that, you would then be more equipped to combat the situation and break the addiction, therefore making it a little easier to change. And at the same time, you would have a better understanding of why it is so bad, which would then make it more painful to stay as a smoker. You do these two things at the same time. Make it easier to change, and at the same time, make it harder to stay the way you are. And before you know it, you'll change. It's the classic carrot and stick analogy. You give the person an incentive to change themselves for the better. You hold that carrot for them, and at the same time, you're punishing them a little bit more for staying the way that they are. Desperation basically summarizes the entire thing. It is a clinical and rigid step-by-step breakdown of weaponizing the human emotion of desperation in order to change yourself. That might be kind of an extreme way to describe it, but it's not exactly wrong. It can maybe help you out in your decision-making process to figure out how you can go and change yourself as a person as well. All right, goodbye.